Hey, it's Camille Martin with Love to Lose, where I show you how to love your life and let the weight lose itself. Today I want to talk to you about bad habits, and we all have bad habits, and we all want to change our bad habits. The problem is when we try to change bad habits, we don't change anything at all. What we usually do is we try to eliminate a bad habit and pick up a completely different habit in its place. This doesn't work. It requires willpower, and as you know, willpower runs out. So the second thing that we do when it comes to changing bad habits is that we make the bad habits personal. We shame ourselves for having the habits, and if you stay stuck in this place of trying to eliminate and using willpower and failing every time, and then you're shaming yourself at the same time for having the habit in the first place, you're going to stay stuck. Nothing is ever going to change. So today I want to show you a 3-step method for changing bad habits into good habits. And I call it the embrace, displace, replace method. So what that means is embracing the bad habit. You want to engage in the bad habit, see what's really going on, and then you want to add small changes to what you're doing so that you're replacing and not trying to completely eliminate. And once you do these two things, ultimately, you will change a bad habit into a good habit. So let's see how it works. Step 1 is to embrace the habit. So what you want to do is you want to fully engage in that habit without shaming yourself for it. Usually we go from straight to engaging in the habit all the way to shaming ourselves for it, and we miss this whole complete opportunity that's going on in the middle for making modifications. We don't think about how we feel. We're not noticing the thoughts that we have. And if you really sit down and engage in your habit and embrace the fact that you have it, which sounds really kind of crazy, but you want to sit down, you want to embrace it, you want to understand where it's coming from and what's happening while you're doing it, and that gives you a whole lot of opportunities to make changes. So actively engage in your habit, embrace it, and then you can move on to the next step. Step 2 is to displace. Instead of quitting altogether, you want to add small, tiny modifications to what you're doing so that they start to crowd out the bad behavior. For example, if you have a bad habit, and actually this used to be one of my bad habits, is to sit down after a meal with candy. My favorite was M&Ms, just to sit down and just start eating them. And I was really zoned out when I did this. I had this habit, and it happened all the time. I desperately wanted to change it, but I felt incapable of it. So I would sit down after lunch or a meal and just open up a bag of M&Ms and start eating them mindlessly. And before you knew it, after I had done it and I was, had satisfied my emotional eating craving, which was not true hunger or anything of the sort, I felt shame. I felt really bad about myself. I wondered, why do I keep doing this? So what I started doing instead is I started adding small modifications to that habit. For example, I took the same amount of M&Ms that I would normally eat. I sat down at a table instead of in front of the television, and I portioned out exactly what I would normally eat. That was step 1. And then gradually I started dividing that same number of M&Ms over different points of the day. So I was eating more mindfully. I was eating fewer of them. And I started to notice, I didn't really feel that good. I felt kind of gross when I was doing it. It was like a huge sugar rush. And then I crashed after that and was tired and not very focused for the rest of my day. The next step that I added was I added fruit to every time that I would eat the M&Ms. So I added some fruit. And I started noticing that I felt really good when I was eating the fruit and not the M&Ms. Eventually, the fruit started to crowd out the M&Ms, and before I knew it, I had a brand new habit of eating fruit after each meal. So not only did I displace and start to crowd out that bad habit, I picked up a very positive habit of eating fruit after each meal. So that's what you want to do. You want to make new distinctions. You want to notice how you're thinking and feeling while you're engaging in this habit and starting to add different positive behaviors to crowd out the negative ones. Step 3 is to replace the habit, and you've really basically come 3/4 of the way by displacing the behaviors that are involved in that bad habit, and you've picked up a new habit, or you've converted a bad habit into a good habit. And now the replacement part is to keep practicing and engaging in your new habit and reinforcing that neural pattern that really cements that habit into your life. And the beautiful thing about replacing a bad habit with a good one is that it gives you confidence. It makes you feel motivated to keep making more and more changes. And the truly beautiful part is that a new habit, after it motivates you to keep making more and more changes, all of these new habits you establish start to feed off each other in a really positive way, and you start to get exponential results. I always want to reinforce to you that you have bad habits for a reason. You eat the way you do for a very specific reason, and that reason usually started with an emotional eating pattern that you developed in childhood. I want you to release the shame involved in how you eat and what you eat and the bad habits that you currently have, because you can change them. So if you want to get more tips like these and more motivation and encouragement to continue on your weight loss journey, please head over to my website at CamilleMartinRD.com. Sign up to get my weekly newsletter. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for watching.